Good morning, everyone. I'm here today to explain a little bit about Microsoft Azure. So, yesterday I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and the topic of Microsoft Azure got brought up by me, of course. And that was when I realized that it's not exactly the most straightforward thing to someone who's not in the IT industry. So that is who this video is going to be directed at: people who are not in the IT industry, who maybe have heard about Microsoft Azure or want to know what it is. Because honestly, if you just Google what is Microsoft Azure, the answer you get to a non-IT person, the answer you get is not exactly very straightforward. I feel like a non-technical person could read all of this and still not understand it any better than they did to begin with. So what I'm going to do here is take 5 minutes to dive into Microsoft Azure. I did not make a PowerPoint or a script or anything like that for this. It's just going to be completely spontaneous. I'm going to try to explain as much about Azure as I can to you in 5 minutes. So without any further ado, uh, let's go ahead and get started. So portal.azure.com is going to be where you go to access the Azure portal and to do anything Azure related. You're going to get greeted with this home screen when you open Microsoft Azure, and you have all of these tabs up here based on what you've recently used, resources. Basically, Microsoft Azure is like Microsoft's cloud. They have data centers all over the world, and what you can do is essentially rent space in those data centers. It's not physical space, but you pay subscriptions for services, and those services are hosted in Microsoft's data centers. So the first step for Azure is having your subscription, because that's how you get billed for anything you use in Azure. You have resource groups. So resource groups are a good way to organize resources within Azure. You've got locations for resources groups. For example, I'll use Central US, and then you can have storage accounts, virtual machines, many things. Anything that you can imagine that you can build on-prem with physical hardware, you can probably do it in Azure. You can host web apps, you can have virtual networks, storage, just about anything you can think of uh, that you could do in an on-prem environment, you could do in Azure. But my favorite part of Azure has to be Microsoft Entra ID. And I bet many of you who don't know what Azure is, you probably use Microsoft Entra ID maybe on a daily basis, probably at work, and you don't even realize it's happening. So I'm a global administrator in this Azure tenant. I own this Azure tenant. And basically, with Microsoft Entra ID, it facilitates authentication for all the users in your organization. So, if you've ever noticed, when you go log into any Microsoft service, for example, I'll just demonstrate this here. Any Microsoft service you go, you hit this sign-in screen. Many of you probably are familiar with this sign-in screen right here. You probably use it all the time. This is how you access your email, your OneDrive, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And if I were to go do this, it's going to take me to my organization sign-in screen, and you're probably familiar with this in many cases with your organization. So that's all controlled through Microsoft Entra ID. There are three different deployment models. You can do on-prem only, which doesn't give you all the benefits of the cloud. You can do intra only, or you can do hybrid. Many organizations choose a hybrid approach for this model, but basically you have your groups, and you have your users. For your users tab, I'll probably blur these out for the actual video, but you have all of your users, and you can go manage your users. and that's how they sign into all those services. It's also the same sign in they'd use to sign into Windows computers that you have on-prem, and you can assign licenses to your users to give them access to, for example, Microsoft 365 desktop apps. You can do mobile device management with Microsoft Intune if your company has many mobile devices that need to be managed and activate theft deterrent features on them, for example. You can use Microsoft Intune for that and manage your devices. I'll show that briefly. We're about to run out of time here. Uh, you can manage all of your devices. So, like the laptop I'm on right here, I can manage it from right here on this page. If I go to manage, I've got all these functions here if the laptop were to get stolen. And last but not least, I'll just like to point out some of the features I've talked about today. These are just a few of the features Azure has. You could literally scroll endlessly. Azure can do so much. Any app, any software, instances, virtual machines, identity, literally anything you can think of computing, cloud computing wise, you can do in Azure. In my opinion, Azure is much better than Amazon AWS or Google Cloud. But all of this stuff I'm showing on the screen now, most of it costs, but you can do it all in Azure. So it looks like the time is up. Uh, that's all the time I've got for you today. I said I would cover it in 5 minutes, so I'm going to stick to that. But I really hope this video has helped show you guys just exactly what Azure is, maybe demystify it. I know when I was explaining it to my friend yesterday, it really seemed like a mystery and it seemed like a confusing topic. So I hope that this video has helped explain Microsoft Azure a little bit better. And if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section, and I'll explain or clarify anything for you as best as I can. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.